What's going on, everybody? I'm JB. Welcome back to another Zeal Cigar review, and today we're going to be talking about why I feel a little bit like why I might belong in a madhouse. All next on the Zeal Cigar review. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Sanitarium cigars, which come in 3 different blends, all Nicaraguan puros, a little bit of Ligero in the filler. You got a Connecticut, the Habano, and the Maduro. I'm going to be smoking the Maduro today, which is one of my favorite cigars that I smoke on a regular basis. I kind of call it the poor man's Jaime Garcia. It doesn't have that kind of spice. It's not as rich, but you do get some kind of similarities from that kind of a cigar profile. It's a really good cigar. And what's really cool about the Sanitarium series is it's actually got a younger brother and an older brother. So the younger brother is going to be the Brass Monkey line of cigars. Very similar tobacco. The only difference is it doesn't have the Ligero leaf inside that this does. And the stronger of the blends is going to be the Mind Blown blends, which we added a little bit more Ligero and a little bit of Ometepe to. So out of the Brass Monkey, the Sanitariums, and the Mind Blowns, the Sanitariums sit right in the middle with a blend of Nicaraguan tobaccos and a little bit of Ligero. I actually haven't smoked this cigar in a while. I'm excited to get into it, but you know what we got to do.
We got to cut, light, and
smoke. Right at the first puff, you get a little bit of some nose tingle on the retrohale. A little bit of earthiness, not a lot. And some like coffee, some like really rich coffee notes. Woo. Got a little bit more on the retrohale than I remember. Man, this cigar brings back some memories, man. When I first started coming in and talking to Bradley all the time, pretty much on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week, he would hand me test blends to try. And I remember smoking this for the very first time, and I had just kind of started getting back into cigars again from a little bit of a hiatus, and I remember smoking this and taking it home and smoking it and coming back and telling him, like, dude, that had some spice to it. It was like going around with Mike Tyson or something, you know what I mean? And you know, like just getting punched in the mouth. And I kept coming back and I was like, hey man, you bringing that cigar in? You bringing that cigar in? And he was like, yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. And he just kept giving me what was left of test blends to smoke. He's like, here, you can have the test blend, use the test blend, use the test blend. For 6 months of me coming in and talking to him, I kept begging and asking for this cigar to make an appearance back into the shop as a regular rotation, right? And nothing, right? 6 months, nothing. So fast forward, I start working for him. 6 more months as an employee. Yo, we bringing this cigar in. We bringing this cigar in. We bringing this cigar in. And finally, I broke him. I got the manufacturer to send a couple more test blends, and I was like, hey, smoke this. Tell me it doesn't deserve to be in the profile. And we sat there and smoked one together, and he said, yep. And we sat down and smoked them together and worked out the names, and eventually came up with the Sanitarium, the Madhouse Maduro, the Crazy Connecticut, and the Hallucinating Habano. Because they just have some crazy flavor to them, and that's kind of where that concept came from. A lot more spice than I remember. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna cleanse my palate with some coffee. Coffee definitely helps tone it down a little bit. There's nothing super crazy jumping out at me just yet, especially with the pairing with the coffee, but I'm gonna step away and smoke this down a little bit and come right back. All right, so we're back getting into the second third here of this Sanitarium Madhouse Maduro, and so far, it's actually got a little bit more spice to it than I originally would remember. I feel like I remember this having a little bit more of that rich cocoa bite at the front of it, but it's got a little bit more of a black pepper spice at the beginning of it. It's kind of interesting. Still got a little bit of that tingle on the retrohale. Plenty of smoke. Fairly easy draw. Leaning tighter than looser. Lots of flavor. I'm getting a lot of coffee out of this though. A lot more spice. It is starting to get a little bit more creamy, which what I was looking for a little earlier, but it seems to be taking a little bit longer to get there on this one than what I'm normally assumed it was going to hit. But yeah, just look at that. Beautiful, beautiful burn. Toothy little wrapper. Just a nice Nicaraguan. I love these I don't know what it is, but I love these 5.5 by 54 ring gauge cigars. It's just like the perfect size. It's a little bit thicker, so like I feel like some Toros are a little thin. It's a little thicker. I feel like they burn really good. For me, they smoke really good. The timing, as far as how long it takes me to smoke, it's about right. I don't know why. I'm a huge fan of the 5.5 by 54s or the Sublimes, which are sometimes like 6 by 54s or 6.5 by 54s. Probably one of my favorite sizes. I don't know why, but I do love that size. Give it a little purge. If you guys aren't purging your cigars, you might be missing out a little bit. It is kind of nice to blow out that dirty smoke every once in a while and just get a nice clean puff on the next puff from that. So if it's not something you do very often, I would recommend just kind of purging the cigar. Blow that smoke out every once in a while, especially when you light the cigar. As soon as you get done lighting the cigar, blow that old dirty smoke out and then relight it one more time real quick, just to kind of help with the flavor at the beginning of the cigar. Big believer in purging. That spice is, you can actually, in that puff, you can actually feel the transition of where it's slowly giving away, the spice is slowly giving away, that burn, that nose tingle when you retrohale is slowly giving away to just this smooth, kind of rich, like cocoa creaminess. It's so cool when cigars transition like that. It really, and you can feel it and taste it and almost visualize the change in the tobacco leaf. It's really cool when that happens. Yeah, it's starting to sweeten up, get a little bit more creamy. Still got a little bit of that dirtiness to it though. We'll step away and I'll come back. We get down to the final third here. All right, so we're getting down to the final third of the nub, if you will, on this Sanitarium Madhouse Maduro. Definitely a medium to leaning full cigar, but not full by any means. As you get down to the nub, you get a little bit more of that rich earthiness, a little bit more dirty, some of that rich cocoa, some of that coffee still hangs around. It's a really interesting cigar. Let me know in the comments, have you guys had any of the Sanitariums? What's your favorite Sanitarium? If you haven't had any of the Sanitariums, might be a good time to try them. The Connecticut is one of my favorite cigars to smoke in the morning with coffee. It's a little bit on the bready side, but it's got a really nice aroma that reminds me of growing up next to Klosterman's Bakery in Springfield. I used to smell fresh baked bread every morning we woke up. It was awesome. So that one really reminds me of that. And the Habano's a really nice middle ground. I did a video where I think I smoked that here not too long ago on a video called Don't Hate Habanos. But yeah, that's been the Sanitarium Maduro. Still one of my favorite cigars. The spice on it definitely weans off as you get down into the final and into the second, into the final third. But with that, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to see a count about some numbers. Peace.